All right, welcome to the second review of the evening. Up this time is The Last Shot. An adventurous engineer, a diesel-punked world divided by endless conflict, and a whole lot of colossal guns. Sounds like a good time. With massive war machines threatening your home, will you be the one small cog that brings it all to a halt? Like, Well, um, so this game was assigned to Pettyfan for review. So over to him for the details.
This game has a lot of vibes of, I believe it's Mechanarium, something like that.
Mechanarium.
Or let me see.
I mean, I suppose I can see the connections if I squint and turn my head sideways, but Mechanarium was very a lot weirder.
This game gets kind of weird. Oh, hold on, this is very loud. So yeah, basically you wake up, a bomb drops, and there is very minimal, if any, dialogue here.
I mean, how much dialogue were we expecting from a platforming game?
I guess fair, but at the same time, everything is basically Pictionary.
Okay, now I'm seeing yeah,
Like,
that's a bigger connection to Mechanarium because Amnesia Design really likes the Rebus style of dialogue connection.
right. Yeah. See, I know what I'm saying sometimes.
Yeah, because it wasn't just in Mechanarium. I remember that in like Botanicula.
Right.
Game we, geez, it was over a decade ago. Uh, anyway,
But yeah, this game. The big question on whether or not to get it on Switch is, do you play on the console itself or do you play on the TV? Playing this on the TV is okay, though I'm not personally a fan of the film grain filter they're using, but that's just a personal preference. If you're playing it on the Switch itself, the art style is way too busy and it's hard to keep track of things that are going on.
mm, I can see it.
So yeah, that's it's
Yeah.
definitely a thing. It's kind of an unfortunate thing because like this world is kind of interesting, but like I
Mhm.
was playing this on a trip to the big city and I just barely could see anything just because the Switch screen is so small.
Right. Well, it's not. It's also the Switch screen is 720p, so
Right.
you're going to get a limited amount of detail compared to even modern smartphone screens, Steam Deck, like anything else really.
Mm-hmm.
That's the downside of Nintendo being in like year 7, year 8 of a product.
Yeah.
Like, and even then, it's like 720p in a 720p screen in 2017 was pretty cheap ass.
It was okay then. In 2024, not so much.
Maybe this game would work out better on a Switch OLED.
Yeah, that I cannot test because I don't have a Switch OLED and I'm not paying $300 for one,
Mm,
especially with
Fair.
a new Switch coming on the horizon.
Mm, One of these centuries.
Yeah, maybe before the heat death of the universe.
And watch the Switch 2 get announced 2 days after we talk about this.
Watch it get announced tomorrow, and we're like, well, we know what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, the gameplay is as you would expect from something similar to Mechanarium. You
mm,
kind of just do the story. Like there isn't like Yeah, they dropped the bomb on like where you're living, but I don't know why. All I know is I need to go. Like,
I mean, that's when you have a bomb dropped on your home, that's usually the thing you should do.
I mean, fair, but at the same time, it'd be nice to know what the hell is going on at all.
Right, but that's clearly an intentional choice there.
Yeah. And I guess something else to note, they did the cardinal control sin again.
Oh
Um,
boy.
if you look at a Nintendo Switch controller, left face button, the Y button, is your run button. Your jump button is A, which is the right face button.
Oh.
They're not using the shoulder buttons at all, except for what is this, L and R? But like ZL, I could easily use ZL or ZR as a sprint button, but it won't let me. And they make you do like actual platforming.
Hmm.
So that's kind of awful. And then the music is uh, honestly there. Like I've never been like I played a good amount of this mute after like the first half hour just cuz the music existed, the sound effects existed, but they didn't like make me want to just keep the sound on.
Right.
Um how in the hell? I okay, yeah. Sometimes it gets weirdly buggy where I can't really tell if I've used an item to progress or not. And I think that's just kind of some indie jank, which I mean, it happens.
Uh-huh.
Um yeah, not a lot to talk about after this. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Not really.
I mean, it's conceptually kind of interesting, but at the same time, there's just some of the like general mechanarium style game jank that gets in the way of my personal enjoyment. And oh yeah, there is one
Interesting.
hit death, so again, very mechanarium vibes. There are some like basic
Hmm.
light puzzle solving. There is a puzzle later that is just so busy I couldn't follow. It was like a pipe puzzle, and just there were so many pipes it was actually detrimental to gameplay to the point I had to look up what exactly it wanted. Because I guess it's supposed to be some kind of
Hmm.
logic puzzle, but when your art gets in the way of your puzzle design, that's a problem.
Hmm.
And I'm sure we've all been there with games where we're wondering what the hell were they thinking, you know.
Especially adventure games.
Yeah. But yeah, the game is okay. It's not my favorite, but I can definitely see there is an audience for this type thing. What are we looking at price wise?
Um, 9.99, so $10.
$10. If this is your kind of game, $10 is fine. If you've never played something like Mechanarium or other games of its ilk, I shouldn't say ilk. This isn't that awful, but like games like it, then you can get those for a much cheaper price and kind of decide where you want to go from there.
Hmm.
Sometimes
All right.
it's dumb and buggy. Um, yeah, we can. That's probably good, so I don't sit here and spend all night trying to figure that out. Any other questions,
Yeah.
comments, or concerns?
Nope.
Alrighty then.
All right. So that'll about do it for the last shot. Be sure to tune in after the break as the Galax reviews Hidden Through Time 2 Myths and Magic.